It's been just under 2 years since my last official club gig, which means it's probably been the exact same amount of time since these have last been turned on. You can see how dusty they are. They definitely need a bit of a wipe before we turn them on. I don't even know if they still work. There's no reason why they shouldn't. But in this video today, I'm going to be mixing some tunes for you whilst explaining why I am not totally against the idea of clubbing, especially when it comes to your self-improvement journey. So this video is going to be the case for clubbing, why you can go clubbing, and the reason as to why you should go clubbing. Now, hopefully this works. I don't know how this is going to work audio-wise. Hopefully it'll record audio into my microphone. Camera should be working. This should turn on. Let's see if it works. It works. That is good news. This video shouldn't go for longer than 20, not even 20, shouldn't go for longer than 15 minutes, maximum. 20 is like reaching it, which means I'm probably only going to get through like 3-4 songs max. So who knows what we've got here last time I turned this on. Let's have a quick squiz. It's winter right now for me, so I'm feeling winter vibes is like melodic. So let's see if I still remember how I set this up. 120 BPM is what we're going to do. Why can't I hear anything? It's probably because my headphones aren't plugged in. So I'm going to be recording this. So I should probably click record. Yeah, no. Laggy as. So maybe, I don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to stop recording and come back and figure it out. Okay. Take 2, because I actually forgot to click record. I just recorded a 15-minute video for you, but I didn't actually click record. So I'm going to have to do it again. And so let's speed this up a little bit. So the case for clubbing. I don't know where I started off and all of this, but basically this video is about why in your early 20s I am not completely against going clubbing, and why I actually would condone it and say, yes, go club. And this is the exact reason why I would suggest that you go clubbing. Now, I'm going to get my track ready, my next track, going to cue that up, make sure it's the right tempo, we're all good to go. So, it's been like 2 years since I think I mentioned that it's been like 2 years since I DJ'd. I started DJing when I was 14. That's when I got my first pair of decks. So that would have been 11 or 12 years ago. I had my first club gig in 2020, so 6 years ago, the week before lockdown. And then I became what was known as a resident DJ, which is a DJ who plays regularly. It's like you're on shift or you're on the books at a club and they give you shifts. Like it's literally your job. Every weekend you're playing there. At one of the big clubs in Melbourne, and I played all throughout my city as well at different places. And in 2024, I had a really big gig that was like the place I'd wanted to play at for a very long time, and I played there. It's called Revs, and then I decided I'm done with DJing. Not completely done with it, but I'm not going to actively go and pursue it. I'm going to focus on other things such as coaching and my career and things like that. So obviously, because of that, I spent 4 years deep in the nightlife industry, experiencing addiction, both with myself and with others around me. And I have seen how dark clubbing can get, especially if you are deep in the nightlife scene, because you're either a DJ, a promoter, a host, a bartender, or something like that. And if you're a casual club goer, it's probably not as bad. You probably just have some big nights and that's it. But if you're actually deep in the scene, it can get pretty dangerous pretty quickly. Not because like where you are is violent, but because the things you're exposed to and given can lead you down very dark paths very quickly. Now, before I go into why clubbing is good, we all know the reasons as to why it's bad. You're in a place full of degenerates doing degenerate things, and as I said, that can turn you into a degenerate because you become the average of the 5 people we hang around. We've all heard that quote. But here is why clubbing could actually be the secret to overcoming your addiction. And not only overcoming an addiction, but becoming the next best version of yourself, the most confident version of yourself, the one who actually does not care what other people think, just being you, the authentic you that you are. So I'm going to briefly touch on this experiment. You might have heard of it before, but it's called the marshmallow experiment. And basically, in the marshmallow experiment, they had a bunch of kids, not all at once, but individually set in separate rooms on a table like this. And in front of them, these kids had a marshmallow on the table. And the rule was, if you didn't touch the marshmallow, you would, let me back up. I was focusing on mixing. So the assessor left the room, and the kids were not told when the assessor would come back. They didn't know whether it was going to be a minute, half an hour, 2 hours. They did not know. But the kids were told, if you don't touch the marshmallow, by the time the assessor comes back, he's going to come and give you a second marshmallow. But if you do eat the marshmallow, you're not going to get a second marshmallow. And basically what that study showed is the kids who delayed gratification by not touching the marshmallow and who got the second marshmallow, they ended up doing much better in life. They tracked these kids into their life. They ended up doing much better in life because they were able to delay gratification and because they exhibited the skill of self-control amidst temptation. And that is what this video is going to be about. The reason why clubbing is such a great idea, especially in your early 20s, is we know it's a bad idea because there is temptation, but it's also a very good idea because there is temptation. And how do you learn how to say no to temptation? Not when there is no temptation, but when there is temptation all around you. So one thing I have learned from coaching, from overcoming my own addictions and bettering myself, I feel like everyone just goes on a self-improvement journey at one point in their life, but also helping other guys do it and just seeing it from other people and from research as well. The only way to do something is through exposure therapy. Achieve X goal, what you have to do is expose yourself to the obstacle. It reminds me of a quote that I heard Chris Williamson say one time, which is, the change you're looking for is on the other side of the thing you're avoiding. So we can say that in a different way is, the change you're looking for is by exposing you to the thing you are afraid of, or the place in which you could fail. So exposure therapy. So you are not going to learn self-control being a hermit in your room where there is no drugs around, where there's no alcohol around, and where there's no vapes around, and where there's no sexy women around who want to be with you and who are wearing literally no clothes. Yeah, that's not where you're going to learn self-control. Now, you might have to remove yourself from that environment temporarily so you can just chill out and fix your mindset for a little bit, which I do recommend. But to a certain degree, we live in a world. We live in the world of temptation. As long as the devil is alive, temptation exists. And we live in this world of temptation. You cannot avoid it completely. I have had two great addictions, nicotine and porn. When it came to overcoming porn, I had to install porn blockers, which was basically the opposite of the advice I'm giving in this video, because this is advice I've given in other videos before, which is remove yourself from the environment so you can fix your mindset. But to a certain point, I can't live in the world without experiencing lust, without walking down the street and seeing a girl half naked, without being on my phone and thirst traps popping up. Even now on my stories, if I look at the viewers on my stories, you see those AI bot OnlyFans accounts liking your story and viewing your story. We live in that world, and a porn blocker does not prevent you from seeing those things. You can't gouge out your eyes. Yeah? So the solution then is, if we know there's going to be temptation everywhere we go, then we might as well expose ourselves to it so we can learn how to say no amidst temptation. Just like these children in the marshmallow experiment. So the last thing I want for you, especially if you do love music, and especially if you are a DJ and you want to DJ and things along these lines, is the last thing I want from you is to abandon that dream or abandon your passion because it can be dangerous. It's the last thing I want for you, because I am a first-hand example of you can be deep in the nightlife industry and be completely sober. The only way to do that is to get deep into the nightlife industry. I say all the time that the way I learned self-control was by being a DJ and having all these things offered to me constantly, because when you DJ, you may not know this, but you get offered drinks for free. You get offered drugs, not all the time, but from time to time, for free and just offered to you. There's temptation all around the corner. If you know how to press these buttons, people want to give you free stuff. And I know that might be your motivation to press these buttons, but I can guarantee you that, well, I can't guarantee you, but what I'm saying here is I learned self-control by being amongst it. If I didn't DJ, if I didn't have a clubbing phase, I would not have the self-control that I have today, because I was constantly exposed to things left, right, and center. Now, did I give in to temptation sometimes? Of course I did. But the more I was able to say no, like I remember specific examples where I would say no. Like I'd walk past, I'd finish my set, and then one of the promoters would yell out, "Christian, come here, man, that was a good set." And I say, "Man, I don't do that stuff." And that's me saying no. You need to learn how to say no. And I feel like I'm a broken record here, but the way you learn to say no is by being inside the environment where you say no. So exposure therapy, if you're anything like me, you've likely been a perfectionist. Now, when you're a perfectionist, I actually don't remember if I've already said this in this recording yet, because as I said, I had to re-record this. I remember saying this, but I don't remember if it was in the past recording or this one. But if you're a perfectionist, your problem is not that you don't know what to do, it's just that you haven't done it. So when we're a perfectionist, I can take my headphones off because this will be the last song, because I've already been speaking for I think 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up in about another 3 minutes. When you're a perfectionist, our problem is not that we don't have knowledge. It's that we are stuck in what I call the knowledge acquisition and the planning phase, where we are so focused on knowing everything we need to know, like getting rid of all the risks, having everything go perfect, that we're too afraid to even act. We're too afraid to take action and fail. What you need to do is act. You need to act. And the action you need to take is be exposed to the place where you could fail. In this case, addiction means being exposed to it. And maybe you do fail, but sometimes you will overcome it, and then the balance of the scales over time will stack where you can say no more than you say yes, and now you have self-control, especially when it becomes like a 95 to 5% split. So when it comes to exposure therapy, one last example I will give, and it's the example I'm doing right now here. All humans, we have this thing called a fear of rejection, and because we're tribal creatures. Now, if you want to overcome a fear of rejection, for example, you don't do that by reading books on fear of rejection or listening to podcasts on how to gain confidence. They give you knowledge, but they don't actually remove your fear of rejection. They might motivate you to remove your fear of rejection, but they don't remove your fear of rejection. The thing that removes your fear of rejection is getting rejected and your brain realizing, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought. And now you can do it again and again and again. Been exposed to it so many times that you're numb to it. It doesn't affect you anymore. So with me posting content on Instagram, this is like day 66 in a row as of today, which is the 24th of July 2026. It's day 66 of me posting in a row on Instagram, and I've been posting a YouTube video every week for the past like 6 weeks. And this is just such a random video for me. And there is huge possibility, I've already received them before on Instagram, and I think like once or twice on YouTube, of me getting rejected. Obviously rejection is like not getting any views, but it's also getting hate comments and hate DMs and mean things said to you. And the thing is, for me and for you to overcome a fear of rejection, we have to get rejected so many times that it no longer affects us. Which means you just have to put yourself out there to be rejected. So here's the case for clubbing. If you go clubbing, two things are going to happen. You're going to be put into a position where you're faced with temptation with drugs, alcohol, lust, sleeping around and all these things. And you are going to learn how to say no. If that is your intention. Just make that your intention. I'm going clubbing and I'm going to learn how to say no. The second thing you're going to develop is complete confidence in who you are, because by saying no, you're probably going to get some very bad looks. You're probably going to get people who judge you. You're probably going to get people who seriously dislike you for saying no. You'll also get some people who absolutely respect you, as I did. I was lucky I actually had a very supportive group of mates when I said I don't want to do these things, and they just wouldn't offer it to me. But you have people who just hate that you say no, because they want to see the part of you. And over time, that will no longer bother you, and you'll be able to just confidently be yourself. Be the version who can say no and not give a fuck if people care whether you say yes or no. And that's the place I want you to get to. Because when you get to that place, that is when you can actually decide whether you want to go to festivals and clubs and events, or you don't. And if you really love music, I would hate for you to abandon that passion of seeing your favorite DJ perform live because you can't trust yourself. I want you to develop self-control. The place is and a good place and a great place, not just a good place, to develop self-control is in a club where temptation is all around you. If you learn to say no, or when you learn to say no, you're going to enhance your confidence. It's going to bleed into every area of your life. So you don't have to go clubbing. This video isn't saying to go clubbing, but if you want to, sure, go do it. Go experience that lifestyle of saying no in the place of temptation. Okay, I think this song is almost finished. So that's enough from me. I'm going to let this song play out. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, message them below in the comments. Message me on Instagram. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you can apply for that as well. So I think there'll be a link in the comments somewhere. In the description somewhere. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. Sorry, my voice is starting to break. If you enjoyed this type of video, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this, like mix and talk about self-improvement. If you think it's weird, tell me. If you think it's awesome, tell me. Any feedback is great. Because I'm just getting started on this content in YouTube game as well. So, yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your night, and I will see you on the next one.